What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for our new subscribers. Thank you very much for joining our community. It really means a lot to us, and I'm pretty sure the reason why you've clicked on this video is because of the topic. And I'd like to make sure that I'm reaching out to all my kababayans in the Philippines just to make sure that everybody's on board. If you're not in the Philippines, that's fine. Like what my topic clearly stated, my video for today is not to discourage but to encourage you, to let you know that yep, it's never too late to accomplish what you set out to accomplish. I was 29 years old when I decided to leave the Philippines to migrate to the US and try it out over here. It wasn't easy. A lot of my friends said I shouldn't do it. I was second guessing myself. There was a moment in that period of time where I really felt I shouldn't do it. But I was like, I did it when I was 17. I made a decision and said I was going to be in a band, and I just went for it. And when I was 29, I made a decision to turn my back away from my friends, family, and whatever career was left in the Philippines to come here to America and just see if something good can happen out of that. To tell you honestly, aside from the grass being colored green over here, I'm not saying it's not green in the Philippines. As a matter of fact, you can take me away from Manila, but you will never take Manila away from me. There you go, to put it simply. And it doesn't matter in what third world country you're in. What matters most is that if you have this, if your head and your heart actually speaks loudly to you, telling you what you want to be, you should pay attention to it. And so let's begin. Pretty much when you look at a mountain, you don't look at the summit of that mountain. You can't see the summit. You can see its apex or the perception of how high that mountain is. And if you focus your eye on it, that could discourage you or inspire you. I'm the type of person who likes a challenge, so I get encouraged when people actually say, that's too much for you, really. Now, imagine being in a third world country and not knowing how to get to a first world country, whether it's the States or Canada or the UK. But it's definitely not true, because I have friends who are more successful than me. It's just that when we were all in the Philippines, we never spoke about the journey. We never expressed how much we wanted to go overseas, to try it out overseas, until we just bumped into each other overseas. And that too can happen. Now, what are the first steps you need to take? Well, you need to make a decision. You need to make a decision to take the plunge. If you're a nurse in the Philippines and you believe that you have the potential to be more successful overseas, you have to speak and convince yourself. You have to speak to yourself and convince yourself that, you know what, I'm better off overseas. And then you take the plunge. So first you have to make a decision. And normally making a decision doesn't take days, it doesn't take years. It takes a split second to make a decision. Seriously. It takes a lot of time and energy to plan the decision making. It takes a lot of energy to plan for that decision moment. But it only takes a split second to make a decision. Now, once you've made a decision, whatever it is, whether it's coming to the States or quitting your job, or pivoting, shifting gears, you have to make a commitment to that decision. Remember, you're pushing 30, just like what my title said, right? It comes, I mean, your crossroads happen when you hit the age of 15 to 18. Between the ages of 15 to 18, something's in your head that makes you say, I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be a pilot, I'm going to be an architect, I'm going to be a rock star, I'm going to be whatever it is you're going to be. 15 to 17 to 18. Because at that time, you have parents. Most of us have parents at that time. It's easy to make decisions. It's easy to fall on our faces. It's easy to fall flat on our faces. And so that decision is there. Then, once we've made that decision, we have to live with it. We get discouraged, we succeed. If we succeed, then we stick with it. We start a family. If our family succeeds, then we move on full speed toward being a patriarch, or toward being a successful middle-aged man or woman. But not most of us become successful that way. I'm a perfect example of someone who failed miserably before the age of 30. And at 29 years and 11 months, I made a decision to let go of everything and migrate to the United States. And I made a commitment. And I told myself I will not come back to the Philippines without anything to prove. And my benchmark wasn't that great. All I said was that if I am able to survive without my nanay and my siblings, nanay mayaya, and without my siblings, that's a good sign. If I'm able to make my bed, to do everything on my own, to learn how to iron my shirts and all that, then I've succeeded. If I can carry a day job, because up until that time I did not have a day job. I was part of a band, and I was an actor, whatever that meant. So my time was mine. Like, I did not have a boss. So it was all about, I'd work whenever work was there, right? But that all changed when I moved to the States, and I was now 30 years old. 30 years old with $100 to my name, and a bigger dream. This time with more maturity. This time I had to learn to be humble. And that's the third step in the process. First, you make a decision, then you commit to your decision, and then you have to let humility work on you. Because this is your second chance. You're 30 years old. You're 40 is midlife crisis in my books. So you have 10 years to really make up for the mistakes you've done when you missed the boat at 17 and now you're 30 years old. What are you intending to do with your life? In order for you to move forward, you have to humble yourself and learn to raise your hand and actually tell yourself, yeah, I made a mistake. Things need to change. When you're able to do that, when you're able to embrace not humiliation, but to embrace what stupidity was going on in your head in your youth. Remember, they say youth is wasted on the young, right? I was one of those. But if you are one of those, if you belong to my kind of people, you're not alone. All you need to do is be humble. Be humble about the fact that you messed up. And life is not over yet. Yes, we fall flat on our faces. Yes, there are times when nobody is there to pick us up. Self-pity is not part of the character traits of being humble. You have to learn to pick yourself up. And the only way you can pick yourself up is when you let go of pride. When you are humble enough to admit defeat, to accept that it's there, to know that it's temporary, to know that you cannot do all things through your own strength. When you can raise your hands and actually say, Lord, I messed up. I pray to the God of the Bible. And many times I've said, Lord, I've messed up big time. Here I am again messing up. Please fix my life. And that's it. You're young. You're not 45 yet. And if you are 45, you're still young. Heck, I'm already years old and, I still feel young. So yes, until there is air to breathe, we are still young to do the things that we were destined to do. And the sooner we can let go of the pride, the sooner we can let go of the envy, the sooner we can let go of the bitterness in our hearts, the quicker it will be for us to find our calling. And at 30, 35, 40, 45 years old, with or without parents, I'm pretty sure most of us know how to hustle and make money to sustain ourselves, whether we're still stuck in the Philippines or thriving in the Philippines, or stuck in a first world country or thriving in a first world country. It doesn't matter what planet we're on. If we know the decision we made and commit to that decision and stay humble and true to our goal, eventually we will get there. So that's it for now. I hope you guys like what I just said. I'm gonna watch it all over again to remind myself that even though at times I feel disheartened with the things going on in my life, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. So always keep your head held up high. If you like what I just said, please give me a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel and ring that bell so that the next time I post a video, you get notified. Again, this is Paco Arespacochaga. Thank you. I appreciate you so much.